We continue my grandfather's personal account of his service in Gallipoli. It must have been terrifying to 19-year-old Matt, who had no previous experience with firearms or the intensity of a battlefield, with officers barking orders, drowned out by the boom, boom of heavy guns, explosions, screams, smoke, dust and blood. In this part of his story, there is no sense of fear, only a willingness to obey and fight. No time to think beyond obeying orders and stopping the enemy. And when the fighting stopped, to hear the cries of the wounded must have been terrible for this young man. Earl will take up the story from here.
All through the night, our battleships and destroyers were pounding away at them and the shells were screaming overhead. In the morning we had a tot of rum and the water carriers filled our bottles. In places the battle was still going on, we were still being sniped at from out in front and quite a few of us were getting hit and a few killed. The Turks were still above us in some places and men of the 15th Battalion were gradually mopping them up. Sometime in the morning we were told to dig in and tools from the engineers were brought up and we dug trenches and machine gun redoubts. The Turks made 2 very punitive counterattacks but were easily stopped, leaving many dead. I remember after the second attack listening to the cries of the Turks wounded. I cried, but we still had to kill or be killed. It was just awful. During a lull in the fighting, we were able to get our emergency rations and eat. It was here that Huey McMaster and Teddy Miller gave me the first cigarette I'd ever smoked in my short life. The soil was easily dug and our trenches were about 3 feet deep, so we had plenty of cover. Bluey Oliver, our officer, was a tower of strength to us all and, although wounded, would not leave us. He was killed a couple of months later. We continued to deepen our frontline trenches and made the fine points until we had a strong position. We were still being sniped at from a high position on the left, but not so badly as before.